Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy James Speaks, and I've got a couple things I want to talk to you about today. First off, I want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and their 10-game winning streak. They're now up to 29-14, which puts them third in the Western Conference, which honestly, unless you're a Memphis fan, you probably didn't expect. And then we'll hop over and we'll talk about Cam Reddish to the Knicks real quick. I've got my thoughts on that you guys may or may not agree with. But first off, I want to talk about Memphis. They're currently on a 10-game winning streak. 15 games over 500, third in the West, and I really just want to talk about the culture that Memphis is building. When I see videos on Memphis, I watch highlights. It feels like they all really enjoy playing with each other. It's a super deep roster. Like, I'm looking at the box score from the Warriors game, which was a really impressive win. And you've got, Tyus Jones, who I think is super underrated, and DeAnthony Melton. I think these are two of the most underrated guards in the league. And then you've got Desmond Bane, who I think is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He didn't have a good game against Golden State, but I think Desmond Bane can be a stud. Zaire Williams, out of Sierra Canyon, he can clamp up. I do think they were looking for Josh Giddey at 10, but I think Zaire Williams is a real good pick. And then you've got Jaren Jackson, who I think his offensive game can still progress more and more, but he's still at the top of the league in blocks. He's a great rim protector, and even if the three-point shot isn't falling or his shots aren't making, he's still a threat, so you can't just sit there and leave him alone. And I do want to talk about the fact that I think I like Jaren Jackson as a center. I think he could, spread the floor. And I think, he'll probably get more rim protection, a higher rim protection upside, which might be harder to do with how good he is now at center. And I think Steven Adams at center, I like Steven Adams, but spacing, and he's not the best center in the league, so I think Jaren Jackson at center would be a thing to look at. But back to what I was saying, just the culture that Memphis has built, I feel like is insane. When Giannis won his ring last year, you saw the tweets from Ja saying he needed that. He needed to win with a small market team. And you can just tell the fans. I wish that I was a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, if I was wanting to be, if I was just starting to watch the NBA, and you told me what team should I be a fan of, Memphis Grizzlies might be my top team. They're young, a lot of fun players to watch. Like I said, Brandon Clark's trying to get back to his rookie form, and I think he's been doing pretty good this year. Xavier Tillman, he hit a big three against the Warriors in the play-in last year. I mean, this team is deep. I love everything about it. I think Ja Morant is so fun to watch. His three-point shot's gotten better. If he can even shoot 35%, I don't know what he's shooting this year, but if he can consistently shoot 35 to 40% from three, I think when people say best point guard in the league, obviously you've got Steph Curry, but I mean, if Ja's shooting 35% from three as he continues to progress, I think Ja Morant can easily be the best point guard in the league. It might be high praise, but I don't care. Another thing, this team defensively is just such a good defensive team. Everyone plays their role defensively. I mean, you draft Zaire Williams, he does his stuff. Great rim protection and Jaren Jackson. Desmond Bane's a good defender. Slow-mo, Kyle Anderson, good defender. Ja does his thing. I really love this team. As for the future, I think you just keep building. Obviously, free agency classes keep getting weaker and weaker, but if I'm a free agent and the money's right, I would for sure come to Memphis. I mean, there's no reason for me not to. I still do think I would like to see another guard there. I know Zaire Williams, that's kind of what they're hoping he can do. But I think if they could add someone, obviously not De'Aaron Fox, but someone like De'Aaron Fox who still, sits there, holds up defensively, but can also, score the ball a little bit more, I would really like. But obviously you got Zaire Williams, who you have to see how that works out. But I would like to see another guard. I mean, if you could this might sound crazy, but if you can somehow get Kyrie to Memphis next year, sign me up. I think that, obviously, you've got to work out Ja Morant, Kyrie. I also do think that Ja Morant should be your number one option. He's your franchise guy. No matter who you get, you make Ja Morant your number one option. I did want to talk about the Memphis thing a little bit. I'm a couple days behind from this Warriors game, but I don't want them to lose and then me to look like an idiot when I make the video. So 10-game winning streak. I I honestly don't know if you want to put them in the Western Conference Finals, but I think they can beat almost any team in a series. Honestly, they're still young when it comes to the playoffs, but honestly, I think you've got out of the healthy teams right now, Warriors, Jazz. Warriors, Suns. If you told me Memphis Grizzlies, Jazz, I might put my money up on Memphis. So, I really like what Memphis is doing. Bright future, great culture, and just everything's going their way. Deep team. I love it. Now, I'm gonna talk about the Cam Reddish to Knicks trade real quick. One thing that just bizarres me that I saw is that this is a top 18 protected pick, which is just kind of crazy to me. To get into my thoughts on this, the fact that obviously I understand why the Hawks did this, but I mean, if you do, I don't know, Cam Reddish, maybe even Onyeka, Gallinari, I mean, if you think you have too many role players, why not try to add those role players into a bigger package for a better player? You're not good this year. Maybe you want to take a step back. But I mean, I look at this team, this Hawks team, and I think they're a pretty good squad. And if you got too many role players, I mean, you gotta make a good package to go out and get you a Bradley Beal if he comes available, or obviously not Damian Lillard, but someone like that to add to the roster instead of just trading away one of your better assets for a top 18 protected pick. I doubt Kevin Knox will even play for the Hawks, to be honest. He might just get waived and then, another team will pick him up. I mean, the Hornets you might not even get that pick. So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you don't want to pay him. You think you've got too many role players. But I would have way rather liked to see him packaged in a deal for a bigger player than just shipping him off for a first round pick. And on the Knicks side of things, I really like this. A good wing defender. Everyone always talks about Cam Reddish potential, Cam Reddish potential, Cam Reddish potential, and we haven't really seen it yet. But I do think that Cam Reddish can be a really good NBA player, and I think obviously you're gonna have to pay him. But now you've got the Duke connection that people have been talking about with R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish. You've got two good wing defenders there. I mean, you've got Emmanuel Quickly. You've got a good young core in New York, and I like it. And like I said, for the Hawks, I don't really see it. I don't think you're getting you're not getting that good of an asset back, in my opinion, and you could have tried to package him and maybe Gallinari for a better player back. But, I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Memphis, Cam Reddish to the Hawks trade.